Hey guys, and welcome to another Game Explained discussion. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined today by Ash Paulson and Ryan Malice from Brain Scratch Comms to discuss the week's Smash Brothers news. So let's get started. Alright guys, so obviously Andre isn't here. He's off in Gamescom having fun in Germany and all that, so we're just going to carry on without him. And you know what? I think we got a pretty good week despite him not being here. So let's just go ahead and start off with Monday's screenshot, which was kind of another troll move on Sakurai's part with the whole idea of masks being available for the Miis.
I thought it was pretty cool. I know a lot of people were concerned on Monday that they didn't really know whether it was actually kind of soft confirming Meta Knight or soft disconfirming Meta Knight, which I always kind of assumed that it was a soft confirmation just because, you know, when was Meta Knight ever going to be removed from Smash? But, you know, it's really cool. It's fun to see just how many different costumes are actually, or appear to be available for the Mii fighters.
I like the idea of costumes, not so much masks. The point of Mii fighters for me was always kind of using different made-up characters to fight. If you put like Samus's helmet or Meta Knight's mask on, you're kind of defeating the point. You might as well just play as those characters in a sense.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that because I didn't really think of it until you brought it up, Ryan. And as soon as you said it, I was like, you know, you're kind of right. Like, why wouldn't you just play the characters unless you really want to use the Mii fighter for whatever reason, since they can't be online? But I could almost see that as a way to get around the whole, you know, not allowing faces online thing. Is like if they allow to, like, as long as you have a helmet, you can hop online and fight with the Mii fighters, no problem. But if you don't, then you run into that risk of, you know, having, you know, inappropriate faces and whatnot. So I could see that as a nice workaround. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I seriously
Probably
don't think that's how it's going to work.
Yeah, like I said, it's just a pipe dream. But on the whole, I do like the ideas, the idea of multiple helmets. But I kind of wonder if we're going to be just limited to the characters in the game, like having Mario's hat, Luigi's hat, Princess Peach's crown for the characters, or if we're actually going to get beyond the Smash Brothers lineup and have like other characters like, you know, Waluigi or
Waddle Dee's bandana or something.
Exactly, just stuff like that in order to just, you know, get that little bit of customization.
Well, I'm kind of hoping that we get a lot of the Street Pass Plaza hats, at least for the 3DS version, because then we get fun NPC hats like the Moai hat from Rhythm Heaven and you know, the windmill hat. Just with the Street Pass hats alone, there's a ton of potential for helmets that don't necessarily have to be based on existing Smash Brothers characters.
Yeah, I like the idea of different like hats and stuff. Not so much helmets that block the face, but hats and just other head decorations would be cool.
Yeah, I'd say so. But, you know, not a bad screenshot to start off the week. And, you know, I was like you, Ash. I pretty much thought that, you know, this was just a soft confirmation from Meta Knight because there was no way he was not going to be in the game. And, well, we saw that later in the week. But before we get to that, we got Tuesday's screenshot, which shows, which finally reveals what the heck the special flag does. And it's really interesting because apparently you have to hold it up for a long enough time in order to get on a time match, you'll get an additional KO, or if it's a stock match, you'll get an extra stock. And that's incredible. Essentially, this is an extra life. And I think that's kind of awesome. I mean, I think that's going to be an item that a lot of people are going to go for right away just because it can be really devastating.
See, on the contrary, I mean, I think it's pretty cool, and it's something I might keep on, but this is something that I see a lot of people, even people who like items, turning off just because generally you hear from a lot of item users that even they will turn off like recoveries, and this would definitely qualify as a recovery. So I don't know if this is something that will actually see a lot of use or get a lot of play, even though I personally think it's pretty cool. And I'm actually rather shocked that it hasn't been done already in the form of a 1-up mushroom. It seems like a fairly obvious thing to do. But I think the special flag is a lot more interesting, and I love Pikachu's face. Like, he's just totally trolling Pac-Man and Captain Falcon there. So I do love this screenshot just for how cheeky Pikachu is being.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that I do enjoy items now and again, but some items I just always have turned off because I don't find it fair in any particular way, and this is probably going to be one of them. It's basically just a kind of a cheap way to balance, you know, good players and bad players in a sense.
Yeah, I could actually really see it being abused in large stages, like the Palutena's Temple. Like, there's so much room in there, and if you can get away, you can grab the special flag, run off, and then you're good to go. So smaller stages, I can see it kind of balanced, but the bigger ones, it might not work so well. But I like it just for the idea that it's something completely different. And as you said, Ash, it could have been the 1-up mushroom, but the special flag I think works better because the 1-up mushroom you would think would be instantaneous. With the special flag, you actually have to work for it, which really does make it better, I think.
Well, let's be honest. In an actual game of Smash, there's no way that Captain Falcon would not be the one getting the special flag. I mean, there's no way Pikachu would get to that before Captain Falcon.
It depends on the player.
That's true, I guess. But I feel like items like these are really heavily geared toward fast characters like Captain Falcon, Sonic, things like that, just because they can get to them faster, there. Straight up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also depends on where they spawn, but generally faster characters,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. But overall, just a very interesting item, and hey, I like the fact that it's here. So now, of course, Wednesday we finally got the reveal that Meta Knight is indeed back in the game, which again we all kind of figured. Ash and I already gave our thoughts on him as well as a bunch of other stuff. But Ryan, what was your reaction when you finally saw that Meta Knight's in the game?
Wasn't surprised at all. I do kind of like his more detailed look, such as the hand gauntlets, the shinier shoulder pads. I've heard, based on a few screenshots, that there might be some level of damage to characters being shown over time. That was supposed to be in Brawl.
Well, we've seen that in Little Mac already. But yeah, I saw the same thing with Meta Knight's cuts on his armor, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't actually notice that. I didn't hear about that one. If they were to go do something like that, it's like with the example of Little Mac, I thought that damage only appeared when he actually got knocked out and hit the screen, but that's how you saw a bandage. But if it actually does build up over time, that's even more interesting.
Yeah, it was something they wanted to implement in Brawl, but I guess he just didn't feel the Wii was capable of it. It wasn't anything major, it was just kind of like cracks in his shoulder pads and stuff.
Yeah, I can't imagine his mask like cracking and breaking off and him running off like he did in his original appearance.
That would be pretty cool just because he's so cute underneath that mask. I mean, he's basically a dark blue Kirby, which I love.
That's the only other thing that hopefully nerfed.
Please be nerfed.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like from the shuttle loop comment Sakurai made that it seems like it's been at least slightly nerfed. That I don't know if he has been overall, but I hope he has.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ryan, I think I mentioned this during the Meta Knight discussion. I never understood exactly why Meta Knight was so devastating. Like, I just never clicked with him as far as being that good to me. And I know you play a little bit more competitively than me. Maybe I think Ash, you do too. What made Meta Knight so devastating? What needs to be nerfed with him?
Well, the reason why he was so good is he has such high priority, he has such high speed and such good knockback for being a light/speed character. Basically, he could knock you out better than, say, Bowser could in a lot of instances.
Oh, wow. I never realized that. I don't know why, but I guess I always ended up using his weaker attacks, so I just really was like, well, he's alright, but not my favorite, and then just sort of passed him up. But it seems like pretty simple fixes as far as nerfing him. It's just making sure his priority is a little lower, and they've already sort of nerfed how well he's able to get back to the stage. So I think they are taking the steps to nerf him, but I have a feeling he's still going to be a really good character.
Most likely, again, as I've said in a few other videos, I know it's not going to be a perfectly balanced game. It just can't. Mm-hmm. I just want, actual attention to it, not just... Sakurai mentioned he did all the balancing in Melee. He had like 2 or 3 other people for Brawl. Just, be aware of that some characters were blatantly better than others.
Yeah, and this time around, he announced during his E3 roundtable that he has a team of 12 working on the balancing. So it has to be at least a little bit better.
I mean, it wouldn't take much at all to make it a better balanced game than Melee, and it wouldn't take much more beyond that to make it a better balanced game than Brawl. So my hope is that just by sheer dumb luck that, all other things being equal, that Smash 4 has a pretty good chance at being better balanced than Melee and Brawl.
Yeah, I'd say so. But I guess moving on to Thursday, we have the picture that I think, Ash, you probably squeed if I had to guess.
Best picture of the week. I was like, Meta who? Like, who's that guy again?
Yeah, who cares about that? No, we finally get to see some of Mega Man's customizable moves. One of which being the plant barrier, obviously replacing his leaf barrier, and beat for recovery instead of rush. Which is really cool. It's great to see them actually... People were hoping this, and I mean, we kind of thought it was going to happen after seeing the variety of Palutena's different moves for her customizable moves. So it was a big hope that they have a lot more Mega Man references, especially since a lot of his moves, special moves specifically, are very similar to one another. Just minute differences here and there, so it would work well. But I love what I'm seeing here. Like, the beat model looks awesome.
Yeah.
The plant barrier, I don't know what it is about those leaves. They really just feel like a colored skin to me, so they don't look that impressive.
That's probably what they are. Plant barrier, well, basically all the shields are pretty much the same thing going through the Mega Man series, so it's not that surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've seen that comment, and actually, I think the pedals look pretty good. So I'm not quite getting where the idea that they look out of place is coming from. I actually think it looks pretty good.
Maybe it's the yellow dots is I think what my attention's getting drawn to.
Yeah, that could be. But I mean, I agree with you, Derek, about beat. I mean, that was actually this possibility was something that I called in a discussion quite a while back, but I didn't quite believe that they would go this far with it. Like, I thought maybe we'd get variants on Rush. But I didn't think, that they'd go whole hog and give us, a whole new character for a recovery. So I'm loving that Beat. His model, is here. He looks great. I mean, I'm so excited that they're not just doing, Metal Blade, Electric Metal Blade, Fire Metal Blade for his, for his specials. Like, they're actually mining more Mega Man history and coming up with completely original Robot Master moves. I love that.
Mm-hmm. And actually, Ash, you posted on NeoGAF with this whole post about what his other customizable moves could be and what they could do. So let's just do a quick rundown of what your thoughts, and we'll just bounce off those ideas as we go through. So what's the first custom special move you focused on?
Okay, so I'll just do this really quick. So for the neutral B, obviously the one he has originally is Metal Blade, which I found kind of lacking in the demo at E3 and San Diego Comic-Con. So for the other neutral Bs, I have his Shadow Blade from Mega Man 3, which can be fired up or at up diagonal angles, not in 8 directions like the Metal Blade, but it boomerangs back to Mega Man. And I would think it would have a faster rate of fire than the Metal Blade, which is pretty slow. In Smash Brothers at least. And then my other idea was the Laser Trident from Mega Man 9, which can only be fired straight forward, but it does pierce through walls and multiple opponents, just like in Mega Man 9 itself. So those are my ideas for the neutral Bs.
Okay, I think those are pretty good ideas. I think everybody expects Shadow Blade as one of his other customizable moves, just because it is so similar. Laser Trident, I'm not sure. It'd be cool if they referenced Mega Man 9, since it is one of the newer games in the series, but that one's hard to place, honestly. Do you have any ideas about that, Ryan?
Yeah, I have to agree that the Laser Trident seems a bit off. I would probably put something more boomerang-ish or multiple directions for his B move, just to be similar to the other one, so it's not a completely different move, because I imagine most of the alternate moves are going to be at least somewhat similar to their base one, just with some different properties.
Yeah, I agree. I was kind of torn between that and the Ring Boomerang for Mega Man 4, which I'd also be fine with. But yeah. I know I just wanted something that might maybe act just a little differently. But I agree that probably something like the Ring Boomerang or the Rolling Cutter or something more similar to the Metal Blade will be what ends up actually happening. I guess moving on to the side B, the one his basic side B is the Crash Bomber, as we all know. And then I came up with the Flash Bomb from Mega Man 8, which flies straight forward like the Crash Bomb, but it explodes into a ball of damaging fire on contact. And this explosion would linger for a second or two, just like in Mega Man 8. And then I also had, and this, again, might be a bit far-fetched, but I also had the Bubble Bomb from Mega Man 5 for Game Boy, which actually fires a bomb right above Mega Man that would hover along underneath any platform it came into contact with. So again, that would be quite different from what the Crash Bomber does. But it's just another bomb move that I thought would be kind of neat. But there were also, I was kind of torn between that and the Hyper Bomb from Mega Man 1, or, any of the Drill Bomb from Mega Man 4, Napalm Bomb from Mega Man 5. There's so many to choose from,
Yeah, there really is. But I do like your Crash Bomber idea. I think of all the ones you listed, that's my favorite, and I kind of hope it is one of them.
Oh, for the Flash Bomb?
Yeah, the Flash Bomb. I think it sounds the coolest, and I think that's the one I'd want most as a customizable move. But any of those really sounds great.
What about Burst Man from Mega Man 7?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I thought about that. I just thought maybe that was, again, a little too different from the base move, but so is the Bubble Bomb. Yeah. So, but I agree. The Danger Wrap, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess moving on to down B, obviously his basic move is the Leaf Shield for Mega Man 2. Now, the Plant Barrier, which is what we see here for Mega Man 6, I don't know actually exactly how it's going to act differently from the Leaf Shield, because it really isn't that unique or special in Mega Man 6. It's actually almost kind of a joke weapon, because Plant Man himself is kind of considered a joke. But, I'm thinking maybe it can sustain more damage or deal more hits when Mega Man is actually sitting next to someone.
Between the games, what you could do with Leaf Shield that the other shields do is that you can throw Leaf Shield.
Right.
The other ones you can't, so what I think may happen is that you can leave it up and it'll absorb a hit, but still let you do other things while you have it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is that it just can't be like thrown like the Leaf Shield can. So yeah, that's kind of my idea. I agree with you. And then my other one, which I realize is far-fetched, but I'd like to see something from Mega Man 10, and that's the Water Shield. Just because it's actually my favorite shield in the entire series, really. Because it acts a little differently. It can be fired outward in a spiral around Mega Man, and actually each individual sphere of water can damage enemies that he's standing next to. So I think it would be cool just to get at least one weapon in there for Mega Man 10.
I'm slightly different. I'd rather have the dual satellite from Mega Man 9.
Which is also another great. Yeah, that's another great idea.
Yeah, it would basically in 9 it can reflect a few projectiles, so maybe this one doesn't damage other characters, but you can use it to reflect stuff.
Right, and that would be great to give Mega Man a reflect move. I would love that.
And it would make sense. One I've been hearing from a lot of people is they expect the skull barrier as well.
That's literally no different from the plant barrier, though.
It really isn't.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Yeah, I like Mega Man, but I can't remember his moves.
The shields in 4, 5, and 6 are literally no different from each other.
Yeah, there's the Star Crash from 5, which is also no different. There is the Junk Shield from 7, which it does act a little differently. It's almost a little more like the Water Shield, but I don't know. I don't really see that happening.
Jewel Man sounds like the best alternative just because it does have that reflectability.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of Mega Man 9, I know in his reveal trailer, all of his moves were revealed to come from 1 through 8, but there is speculation, and there's no actual confirmation, but that the blast that Mega Man fires to set up his final smash
it's the black
is actually
hole
the
bomb,
black hole bomb. Yeah, so I don't think that's actually been confirmed, but it sure does look a lot like it.
It's basically the black hole bomb.
It has to be, right? I mean,
yeah.
So that may be kind of unofficial confirmation that they are willing to cull from Mega Man 9 and 10 as well. I digress. So moving on to Up B, his recovery. Obviously, he starts with the Rush Coil. Then we see Beat here. And my guess is that where the Rush Coil gives you superior vertical recovery, my guess is that Beat will give you better horizontal recovery and not necessarily that great vertical recovery. Just kind of based on how Beat acts as a rescue in the games he comes from. I'm kind of proud of this last idea because a lot of people didn't seem to remember it or have it. The wire adapter from Mega Man 4, which would essentially give Mega Man his own tether recovery. Again, it might be too far-fetched in terms of them doing something different, but I thought it was kind of a fun alternative than the typical Rush Jet idea that a lot of people seem to have.
Yeah, the tether recoveries kind of suck, though.
They do, yeah. I just thought it was, I don't know, I thought it was a bit more interesting than just having the Rush Jet, but again, the Rush Jet's awesome, so I wouldn't exactly complain if that's what the third one was.
No, I was thinking maybe potentially Magnet Beam.
Oh, that's true, the Magnet Beam. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one, but that one would be kind of weird just because you have to send it out, but and then jump on it yourself. So I'm not quite sure exactly how that would work. But
say you're falling, you create the Magnet Beam, and then you use your actual second jump to jump on top of it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it would be tricky to use.
Change up your.
It'd be really tricky
you have to really change up how you think.
The reason that you just mentioned, Derek, for the Magnet Beam is kind of why I didn't really consider any like item 1, 2, or 3 from Mega Man 2. But I did kind of have the idea of the carry from Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, but that's so niche that I just feel like that would be impossible to happen. But it is there. There, it does exist. So.
Now, the one thing that makes me, we have all these ideas from, all the Robot Masters, but I wonder why, one of these lines from Sakurai in the post has me very confused. It says, these are some of Mega Man's custom special moves. You might also be able to use some signature boss-like moves from the Mega Man series, too. What the heck does that mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like he's not considering Beat and the Plant Barrier boss-like moves. Well, Beat obviously isn't, but Plant Barrier is.
I think he means more that you get boss weapons, but that doesn't mean you're doing what the boss does.
I kind of took it to mean, and I don't know how this would work, but I kind of took it to mean like screen clearing attacks or flashier attacks like Astro Crush from Mega Man 8 or Gravity Hold from Mega Man 5, something like that. I don't know how that would work at all, given that we know, how Mega Man's moveset works. But that's kind of what I got from boss-like attacks. It is weird, though. I don't quite get it.
I guess one example, I know they've already confirmed Topspin as his dash attack, but
yeah,
say, like in the boss fight, Top Man shoots out 3 tops that he shoots at you while spinning.
That's true, yeah. So something that the boss actually does.
Yeah.
That's something to consider, but yeah, it's funny how we get a clearer idea of how these some of his custom moves, and he still has that little line in there. It's like, okay, what's he mean by this? Because Sakurai isn't random at all. He's unpredictable, but he's not random. And I don't know, it definitely makes this picture the most curious of the entire week so far, because we gotta admit that we're recording this a bit earlier. One, so Ryan can get in with us, and two, so I can get this edited at a decent time. I'm not up until 5 a.m. So Ryan's time with us is going to be cut off here, I'm afraid to say. I think that covers it for these first 4 picks. I want to thank you, Ryan, for joining us today. Let's start with the next picture.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, for Friday's pick, we actually have a better look at how you'll equip powers in Smash Run, which, to be honest, isn't as exciting as we got earlier in the week, but it's not a terrible ending. It's just less exciting, especially with so few pictures left, and it's like, okay, we know Smash Run's a big deal, but do we really need to know how we equip everything?
Yeah, I mean, we have only 20 pictures left now before the game's officially out in Japan. And it's just like, this late in the game, we're gonna have a picture that explains how we equip stuff in Smash Run. I mean, this is pretty basic.
Yeah, I mean, it works exactly how you expect them to. You touch the icon, you drag them into place, and as we knew before, the level of a power is proportional to its strength, number of uses, and weight, and it's just all this other stuff. The only thing I found kind of interesting that they have it, that Sakurai noted in here, is that if you hit the X button, it will randomly fill up the remaining weight allowance with powers.
Yeah, and you can keep doing that as many times as you want.
Yeah, you can just switch it out and see just sort of like a random element, which is kind of cool. And then you can also mark your favorite powers with a star. So there are just it's nice to see that you'll be able to organize all this stuff, because looking at just this screenshot, there does seem to be a lot of powers in here.
No, it's true. I mean, this is all actually very reminiscent of Kid Icarus Uprising, because a lot of this stuff with the labeling your favorite powers and automatically filling up your remaining weight with selections that the game makes. I mean, it's all from Kid Icarus Uprising, and it's just really interesting. It almost seems like Kid Icarus Uprising was, I don't want to call it a prototype or anything, because it's an amazing game, but it almost feels at this point like it was a prototype for Smash 3DS.
Yeah, or at least elements of Smash, because
elements of it.
We've definitely seen it here. It's just like you can always tell when Sakurai's been inspired by something, because he keeps that going and sort of evolves it. And Smash has kind of become this amalgamation of his ideas from both Kirby Air Ride and Kid Icarus Uprising, and a few other things in there, of course. And even some of the ideas in here, like some of the power selections, like auto recovery, that's straight out of Kid Icarus. And then, of course, you get the items and stuff like that. So it is really cool how he's taken these ideas and sort of ran with it to do something else. It's just the picture itself, you always want something new or exciting, but oh well.
I mean, I do think that that customizing and setting up your powers like this is going to be really important, because I've played a lot of Smash Run now, and at various shows, and it's really fun. I like it a lot. But for the first few times I played it, I completely forgot that you had powers that you can activate by touching the bottom screen. So I was just going through playing like I would play a normal Smash match, and I wasn't doing that well. I'm like, that's weird. I wonder why I'm not getting more power-ups and stuff. And of course I realized, wait, I'm not using the power-ups I'm supposed to be using. So it is going to be really important for you to set these up correctly and really divide them well in terms of your weight economy, and the Smash Run is definitely dependent on them.
Yeah, it's nice to see that it really does encourage you to use these powers. It's not just a, here they are if you want them. And I haven't actually got to play Smash Run as much as you have. I think I've gotten one match in total. And it seems like a lot of fun, and I love that there's so many elements to it, and the fact that we've seen from some of the screenshots we've seen that even playing in classic mode can get you powers for Smash Run. So there does seem to be this nice level of interconnectivity between all the modes, and Smash Run really is an integral part of the Smash 3DS experience, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, look how much they're pushing it. I mean, it's very obvious at this point how much Nintendo of America and how much Sakurai are really, really pushing Smash Run.
Alright guys, I think that about covers it for our discussion of Smash Brothers for this week, so thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video, be sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain, and of course stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Smash and other things gaming too. Until next time guys, bye.